Hi, I'm Alice. Welcome to the unboxing and overview of Cinelucha, the board game with the luchadores Dragon Lee and Solar, and the enemies Cthulhu and Mafia. I will show you how this box comes, but I have already set up the game with this box. So this is a cooperative game for 1 or 2 players, inspired by Lucha Libre, especially the movies, but now we have them in board game format. We can see the rulebook is very short. It's not a very complicated game. This is a board where we put the locations, the event, the boss, and the rules for how the boss appears into the game. These are event tokens that are used differently according to the event. Dodge tokens to cancel damage, stamina tokens to play cards, experience tokens to add damage to our attacks, and these are damage or hit tokens. These are the player boards for each luchador. Here you can store all of your tokens, and this is a stamina cost that you must pay to resolve the top action of any of those cards. This is how Solar looks with his special ability. These are just on these, you have to punch them and set them on their bases. The dice we roll when we attack. This is Dragon Lee's deck, which is unique to him. Some cards are repeated, but you can change their effects. Some of these effects help other players because, as I said, this can be played with 2 players. Solar's deck, which you can see has different names like La Tapatía. Every card has a distinct image that represents the attack. I don't know a lot of these things because I don't watch Lucha Libre. This is a Mafia enemy deck. This is the boss that you must defeat in order to win. And these are the enemies that spawn throughout the game. We can see John Wick or the Hitman guy, the Cthulhu enemy deck with its bosses, and the minions which spawn and attack us. Any of those enemy decks can be combined with any of these event decks. This is the Mafia event deck, but you can play with this and against Cthulhu. So same here, you can play with this Cthulhu event deck with its locations and with its rules against the Mafia. So all of these sets are compatible with each other. In this game I'm playing with Lady Maravilla against the Martians enemy deck and the Martians event deck that is made of these 2 cards and these 4 locations. Setup is almost done, but I wanted to see how the enemies spawn, so we have to spawn 2 enemies per player. These enemy spawns in this location, indicated by these 4 lines. We must put an event token on the first enemy each player spawns, so we do that now. And we have to move the invasion to the location of the first enemy that spawned. So we do that right now. These event tokens count as dodge tokens. So if we are going to do damage to that enemy, we discard that event token instead and we put it here. Our goal is to get 4 event tokens here. So at the end of that round, the boss appears and we can attack him. And we lose if an enemy has 3 event or dodge tokens in total, or if one of us is defeated by receiving 8 damage. The second enemy appears, in this case in location 1. Then we choose where to start without paying the movement cost. We start the game with 4 cards that we took randomly from our deck. We have an experience token. I put it here, but all of the experience tokens are shared between the players, and each player starts with 2 stamina tokens. Only I can use these tokens. The only shared ones are the experience tokens. And at done, we can do the following actions as many times as we want and as we can, in any order. We can move to another location paying its cost. If I want to move to this location, I must pay a dodge token. So let's say I pay it and move to this location. It doesn't matter how far it is. We can play a card for its main action, paying the stamina cost printed on the board. So this one is free, this one costs 1 stamina, this one costs 2 stamina, and so on. Or we can play a card for its repair effect. If we do this, we don't have to pay the stamina cost. We just solve the effect and discard the card. Let's say I want to play this card for its main action. I pay the 2 stamina indicated here. Then I roll a die, plus 1 die for each stamina that I paid. So in total I rolled 3 dice. I must choose one of the enemies. I choose this one, of course. So I roll the dice and see what happens. Each of these is 1 damage. I would apply 2, but since this event token counts as a dodge token, then 1 damage is cancelled, so I discard it, and this one goes here, as we saw in the rules for this event. Then the other damage is applied. This phase gives us an experience token. Every time we attack, we can spend 2 of these experience tokens to add 1 damage as many times as we want. Had I rolled this phase, I would have activated my special ability, dealing 1 damage and gaining 1 of these tokens. Since I have resolved all of its effects, I discard this card. Let's say I want to move, so I move here without paying any dodge tokens, and then I want to do this attack. I attack with 2 dice, and if the target is not defeated, I get 2 additional dice to my next attack. I roll the dice, I deal 1 damage, and this one deals 1 damage, and I get an experience or dodge token. I'll take the dodge token. Since the target was not defeated, I get 2 dice to my next attack. I can't do anything else, so maybe I could move here, paying a dodge token, or here, but that wouldn't be a good idea. So I go to my prepare phase. In this phase, I can resolve any of these prepare effects, so I will do just that. I get an stamina token, I deal a damage to any enemy, so I deal a damage here, then I get a dodge token. These cards slide to the left. I refill these spaces with cards from my deck, and I get 2 stamina tokens. The enemies activate from left to right, top to bottom. This enemy attacks here in this location for 3 damage. I can cancel 1 damage for 1 dodge token each. I'm going to cancel 2 damage and only take 1. If this enemy wasn't with a player, it would move towards the nearest player. This enemy attacks this location and the adjacent ones. Since there is no location there, it would only attack these ones. If it was with a player, it would escape from them. Then it gains a dodge token. All of the previous attacks only apply to 1 player. This one attacks the location it is in, but attacks everyone there for 1 damage. And this icon indicates that this damage is unblockable. After that, all of the locations activate from left to right. This one tells us that each player that is there roll a die and apply the effect to any enemy. In this case, we must add a dodge token to any enemy. Here, each player must take 2 damage. If there is no player here, we must swap a non-boss enemy with a player enemy. To do that, we must take the top card from our deck and replace an enemy. This effect says that damage doesn't transfer, but any event and dodge tokens do transfer. Then any players here must take a damage and an experience token. Then we spawn 2 enemies per player, so this one goes to the 1. We place an event token according to the rules for this event, and the invasion moves to the first enemy that spawns in this phase. We spawn the second enemy, and that's it. Then the event activates. If there are 3 damage or more here, discard all damage and any player takes a stamina token. Then we resolve the activate effect of the rules event card. If 4 event tokens per player here, flip the invasion and cover its current location. Place the boss here and flip this card. We would flip this invasion card and put it here, and the boss would appear in this location. We would flip this, and now indicates that attacks on the boss are minus 2 damage by other enemy here. We must defeat the boss in order to win, and we still have this failure condition. We will start over with our turn until we win or lose. Remember that you can get any of these sets and all of the content between them is compatible. For example, you can play as Dragon Lee against Dracula with the Cthulhu event deck. By the way, sorry for my broken English. That's all for now. See you later.